Hi, this is the Awardist. I'm Clarissa Cruz, Executive Editor of Entertainment Weekly, and I am so excited to welcome you to our Craft Trailblazers panel. Our guests today are all trailblazers in their respective fields and nominated for their first Oscars this year. So excited for all of you. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me introduce everyone. First, I have Jamika Wilson. Along with Mia Neal, she is the first Black nominee in the Best Hair and Makeup Oscar category for her work on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix. Her past credits include How to Get Away with Murder, Widows, and Troop Zero. And if you know those movies, you see a common thread here. She's worked closely with our current cover star, Viola Davis, for years now. Little plug here because I believe you worked on this cover too, Jamika.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we have Coya Elliot. Coya is nominated in the Best Sound category for her work on Pixar's Soul. She is best known for her work in small indie productions like Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, and Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Welcome, Coya.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Michelle Korelek. She is also nominated in the Best Sound category for her work on Sound of Metal. She's worked on more than 100 films, including one that continues to haunt my dreams to this day, Pan's Labyrinth. That was such a scary movie. But, welcome, Michelle. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And Coya and Michelle, like everyone on this panel, is part of an elite group. Only one woman has won in the Best Sound category in Oscars history, which I find so hard to believe, but that's what it is. Next, we have Genevieve Camilleri. Genevieve is nominated for her VFX work on Paramount's Love and Monsters. Her other credits include Peter Rabbit, Doctor Strange, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and Mad Max: Fury Road. She is only the fourth woman ever to be nominated in that category in Oscar history. Welcome, Genevieve.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So I am so excited. I'm so excited about this panel. I hope you can feel my enthusiasm because you are all trailblazers. And I guess I'll start this talk with a question about how it feels because you're trailblazers in your respective fields. You are not in the majority in the demographic in your respective fields. So if you could all sort of tell me about your journey and how you got into what you do. And I guess let's start with you, Coya.
Okay. I started actually in sound at LucasArts, a video game company. And I had the opportunity, I actually was mentored by two women when I was there. And one of those women in particular, Chris Brown, she really championed me for everything that I did, through my learning process. And then I made the connection to film through Matthew Wood, and then he championed me through all my years at Skywalker Sound. And I got really lucky. It started when LucasArts was small, and we just started using Pro Tools at Skywalker Sound. So I really learned a lot of what I learned on the job and from mentors. Brent Kleiss, my co-nominee, is also one of my mentors. So I've been really, really grateful for the strong mentorship that I've had at Skywalker Sound, and both men and women. I mean, to this day, Cheryl Nardi is one of my female mentors that helps me navigate the freelance world.
Yeah, I mean, I think a common thread in careers tend to be mentors and people who have sort of shown the way. But can you all speak about the journey and the mentors that you've had as well? We can go with you, Michelle, so keeping in the sound category.
Yes, well, I started at Estudios Churubusco Azteca. It's film facility at Mexico City. So because I wanted to make sound for films, I went there, and one of my mentors was Jaime Baxt, who is actually my co-nominee also. So I learned a lot of him, but I also learned a lot of different directors. I'm always like admiring them, and they're always like, I'm always learning from them. And I'm so happy and grateful that that I can be there and learning from all these creative and amazing persons. So yes.
Absolutely. Genevieve, I have a little bit of insight into your career because my husband is also a VFX artist.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yep.
yes, and I know just from back and before times when we used to go to events, you know, when we actually saw people, there aren't that many women at his company party or, you know, things like that. I mean, how did you sort of break into your field, and what was your journey?
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's come a long way since when I first started, but there definitely isn't very many female, especially in supervisor roles in the industry. But starting out, I didn't even know visual effects as a career, like sort of when I was really quite young. But I had always had an interest in computers and films. And then I eventually found a course called multimedia, which I started out doing that, which was a broad knowledge of like animation, video editing and that sort of stuff. And then I sort of fell into specializing in film visual effects. And then from there, I first started out in doing an internship on advertisements. So just doing really small sort of compositing work. And then I sort of got an opportunity at a company called Allura. Well, it used to be called Allura. It's now Method/Frame Store, where I started out working on feature films. And I was there for maybe about 5 years. And the guys there are amazing. A lot of them are all still there in Melbourne, Australia, but they were sort of really mentored me in terms of like how to learn the tools of compositing. And then kind of after that, I sort of ventured and spent quite a few years in Canada working. And then I slowly just followed my passions, and it kind of just led me to stepping up into more supervisor roles, and then landed this job here. So
amazing.
But yeah, like along the way, because I worked at various different studios, but sort of at every single studio, there was always somebody really supportive of my skills and just sort of offering me opportunities to really step up. So
absolutely. Jamika, what was your journey like?
Okay, so my journey was like right out of high school. All of my friends were going off to college, and I decided to go to cosmetology school. So, you know, back then that was looked at as just hair school, you know. Finished cosmetology school while working, and in my neighborhood, there's, you know, people in the neighborhood who did hair really well. This guy named Mike Lewis, I admired him. I wanted to assist him after, you know, graduating from cosmetology school. And he wouldn't take me in as an assistant. He's like, no, you need to work for Joanne Kennard, which is a lady that was really looked up to. She had her own business in the community. And she was, what I learned from her, she was one of my mentors. And what I've learned from her was that she was very professional in her craft and the way she ran her salon. So I appreciate him for sending me in that direction. Also, I looked up to LaFay Davenport. She was also a salon owner, which in the Black community, she also ran a very professional salon. Later on, as I moved on with my skills and studied them, I ended up opening up my own salon that I ran for about 13, 15 years of about 13 stylists we had. And just being in my community, my clientele built, and I had my regular clients, you know, so, and I had assistants working for me and all that good stuff. And my segue into the industry is from my clients. I had clients that worked in the industry that, you know, their hair always looked nice. So I was able to do video shoots because of them, because, you know, the record sexy and the hair. After that path, let's see, where did I go? You know, and then I got a little taste of entertainment, and I felt like it wasn't something for me because I was more of a behind the chair hairstylist. And then moving forward, one of my assistants, Tippy Shorter, which is a very successful hairstylist today, and I call her my mentor now. She brought me back into entertainment because she was overwhelmed with so many clients that she couldn't handle them all. So she referred me to her agent, my agent now, Crystal Thorpe. And Tippy couldn't do Rihanna, okay? So here it is, Rihanna. I took the opportunity. I did her for a video, and then I ended up back into the industry. Segue into how I met Viola, my assistant, my agent put me on the job with Viola for a magazine photo shoot. That was in 2008. That's when she started with Doubt. And I've been with Viola ever since, so 2008. Also, I worked with Kiki Palmer. That was actually my first television show. We did True Jackson VP. And that was my experience into seeing the whole world of television. And once Viola offered me the opportunity to work on How to Get Away with Murder, I took that opportunity. And then it was just the doors open and it was a whole new world for me. And I was able to see how far I can go in the industry of entertainment. So that's pretty much how I got started.
Amazing. I love hearing all of these stories. I guess I'll stay with you for a second, Jamika, because this is going to be a question for the whole group. But we'll start with you. Like the premise for this talk, you are all trailblazers. I mean, you shouldn't be. There should be more of you everywhere. But why do you think that this is the first time that there are Black nominees in the hair and makeup category? Like, what are some of the things that have sort of prevented that from happening in the past, do you think?
I think what's bringing it forward is that our actors are now speaking up and they're wanting more hairstylists in the trailer that can do their hair, you know? That's one reason. And I just, the awareness of it all and the opportunities that we're getting now to actually, you know, be in the trailer. I think that's bringing more awareness to it all.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this for I guess we'll start with the sound ladies. I mean, why do you think there are fewer women that go into sound, or are you finding that that's changing?
I think it's changing. I think it's what Jamika said. You know, we have clients now that are asking for more women on their sound crews, more women on the mixing board, because there have been supervising sound editors, women that have won when they were two separate categories. So you had sound effects, editing, and you had sound, which included the mixing. So I think, there's more awareness. Their clients are asking like, hey, we want a woman team of strong women. You're not only women, but a team of strong women. And that includes the supervisor and the mixer. I also think, like Genevieve said, I didn't know that there was a career in sound. I had no idea that there was a career in sound. So I think that is another reason, is people may not know that there's a career out there in sound mixing and in sound editing. So I think that's, twofold. Like, how do you start? And then, it takes years to mentor women and mentor people. And so it takes a while, so I look back at my film career and it's like, oh yeah, it takes time. The hours are long, really long hours. And that doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody's family. So I think as we move forward and there are more women in sound, then it'll just be a norm, right? It'll be a norm.
Yeah. Right. What is your take, Michelle?
I also agree that there is more and more women and more awareness, more directors also that want to have head of crews being women also, to feel more like comfortable and more sensitive to their approaches. And I also think there are more these like sensitivity, or like perhaps believing that it was like a men's career sound, but it's not true. And little by little, like more women being there, it opens up to other women to believing, well, if she can do it, perhaps I can do it also. And that's believing it, and I hope there is more and more with time. Yes.
Absolutely. If she can see it, she can be it. I mean, I have a daughter and I feel like I try to think about that all the time. Genevieve, what has your experience been? I know just from knowing my husband that it is very very sort of male dominated field. How was it for you? You talked about your journey and your mentors, but why do you think that is? I guess like on a basic level that more women don't go into it.
Yeah, I mean, probably a little bit similar to sort of the sound industry. Basically, when I started out, I think it was just an awareness thing of knowing that visual effects is a job option. Like for me, I didn't know, and I think maybe there was just, when I started out, there wasn't many females who also didn't know of it as a career. But definitely sort of over the 10, 11 years that I've been working there are definitely more and more females joining the industry now as artists in all the different departments. And I think that's just more of awareness. Obviously, there's many more films coming out now with your massive sort of VFX computer graphic work. And there's just more and more courses available for people to learn how to become visual effects artists. So I think that kind of awareness is really just encouraging other females to see it as an option and sort of how to join the industry. And then I guess similar maybe to the sound industry again as well, it just takes time to get the experience to step up into the supervisor roles. So from when I started, the people that are normally in those supervisor roles have had a lot of experience in the industry, many, many years. And from the beginning, obviously, most of them were all just males. So that's kind of why most of the supervisors are still male dominated. And it's just sort of taken over the last sort of 10, 11 years to build up the more female talent pool to be able to step up into those supervisor roles. So we are starting to slowly see more females step up into those roles. But again, I think it's just going to take a little bit more time for the artists that have sort of started out in the industry to build up their experience to get there. So,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say one more thing just along those lines is just awareness. I think that people just haven't really been aware that like, oh, wait, it's all men. What, and because of that, then they, oh, well, let's ask Coya, and I mean, I hope that they ask me because they know I can do the job, and not because I'm a woman, but it is nice to be asked like, oh, they have confidence that I can do the job, but that awareness of, oh, the client is requesting a woman and then being,
Right. I mean, that's an interesting point. This question is for all of you. Do you ever feel that that you sort of, whether you want to or not, are representative of your race or of your gender, because the majority of the other people on set or whatever aren't privy to the same kind of information because of their experiences?
I mean, I'll start. I mean, for me to get to this point, I've more just followed my passion and what I enjoy doing. And it just sort of happened to lead me into this position. It wasn't more something like, hey, I'm a female, I want to represent. And it was more of just, following sort of what I enjoy doing. But I do really want to take this opportunity just to sort of encourage all the other females in the industry to have the confidence to put their hand up and say, hey, I would like to be a supervisor. I see there's an opening there.
Right.
Would you consider me? Because I think a lot of that does come down to having the confidence to step up in those roles as well. Because I find that a lot of people I have met along the way sort of, because it is so male dominated, they sort of play down their skills, even though they're absolutely amazing artists, but they sort of play down those skills a little bit and feel like they don't have the confidence to be in those higher up positions when they absolutely do. So
I agree. I think my own confidence when I started supervising, my own confidence went up because I saw that other people were believing that I could do the job. Whereas before I thought, oh, well, I'll never supervise. That's not my path, I think you're exactly right. Like the more you do it, the more confidence you get. And then, being asked like, oh, they think I can do the job. Oh, of course I can do the job. I know how to do this.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I agree. Yes. Following my passion, I agree with you. Hair is my passion. Doing hair is my passion. But for me too, also, because I wasn't that experienced with television and film, I always, being the minority in the group, I just always ask questions. I go to the department head, and ask a million questions, and hopefully, they're open enough to share that information with me. And fortunately, I've been blessed to have that, and they have, even Sergio Lopez, he did Ma Rainey's makeup, Viola's makeup artist. He's a mentor of mine as well, because when I first started during hiring, he supervised Shonda Rhimes' television show. So he was a part of the hire. And I just looked to him for all the information and looked upon my peers for the information. So yeah, my passion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing a through line here, passion and curiosity and building confidence, which I think is super important for everybody, but particularly for women to succeed in careers that aren't always female friendly. Oh, there we go.
I have a visitor.
That's right. Can and this is another question for all of you. Can you tell me about perhaps an obstacle that you faced in your jobs, in your careers, that you were able to overcome, is something that you were proud of overcoming in your career?
Perhaps like lacking of confidence. No, perhaps could be. And like you said, the more time, and if you follow your passion, and with the time, perhaps you're getting more confidence and starting to believe in you. And then, like Coya said and the others, you start believing in you, and then the others also start believing that they can trust the things to do, and all can flow better. So yes, I think that's yes, we can have the confidence with patience and time on following the passion also.
Absolutely. Even, just the confidence and the nomination alone is a big a boost of confidence. It's like, wow, your work is noticed. When you're passionate about what you do and someone else noticed, that's a confidence booster for sure. So yeah.
Well, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, you got it. I wanted to ask all of you, where were you when you found out you were nominated for an Oscar, and what was your reaction?
I was at home. Actually, me, Mia, and Sergio, we were on a Zoom call together to listen in at 5 a.m.
5 in the morning.
Yes. And so when they called our name, it took a while for it to register for me. And for 2 days, I was still like, I feel like a zombie a little bit, because it's like, wow, this has really happened. Never in a million years did I imagine, for a nomination for the Academy, because I didn't see people like me, so that wasn't a goal for me to reach. So to be here today in this position it's just like, it's mind blowing. It's truly an honor, and I am just so excited. Excited.
Yeah, for me, I was right here actually, where I am. In Australia, it was about midnight with the time difference, and I was sort of tossing and turning. I'm like, oh, should I just go to sleep and wake up in the morning and just see what happens, or I'll stay up and watch it. I ended up deciding to stay up and watch it. And I mean, before even just getting to the shortlist alone, I was already like, wow, wait, like, I can't believe this has happened. And then, so I didn't even expect to get a nomination or had any like hope of getting one. And then when they were reading it out, Love and Monsters was the first one that they read out. And as soon as I heard that, I was just like, what? And then everything else just zoned out. I didn't even hear all the other nominees. And I had to go back later and check and see who all the other nominees were. And it was just, yeah, still to this day, I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. I've got the nomination. So yeah, absolutely honored to be here. So
Michelle and Coya.
Okay, so I was sleeping because I thought that if it was really early in the morning, also in Mexico City. So I thought that if I get up early, I was going to get really anxious. So no, I said, no, I will sleep. And if something happens, well, I will know. And so my telephone started to vibrate a lot. So I thought, well, something's happening. I must walk up and see what's going on. And then I was like in shock for some, I think, hours, and I didn't want to answer everything because the phone was ringing like crazy, and I was, no, I'm not ready for this. it's a shock, and but I'm so grateful and so excited, and I cannot believe it yet.
I would say the same. Before I went to bed the Sunday night, I thought, oh, okay, you should get up early and just to check. But I also am like superstitious, right? Like, well, I don't know. And so I actually did wake up early, but I completely forgot. And then I actually went back to sleep, and I didn't go back to sleep for that much longer. And then I got up and my phone had just like blown up with, text and phone calls. But it took a long time for it to sink in. It really did. It was like, really? Wow. This is, it wasn't until I called, started calling people back and talking to them that it was like, wow, this is really, really happening. And I mean, just to be recognized by your peers and, and also to be recognized for all the long hours that we put in. It's a really humbling and a huge honor.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing that I think all of you have mentioned is sort of helping other females and other people of color in your industries to sort of advance in your fields. I mean, what sort of advice? Well, I guess a two-part question. What is the best advice that you've gotten, career advice, and then also what advice would you give as far as women and people of color who want to get into your industry?
Okay, I'll go. Let's see. Well, the first advice was from my grandmother, which was another mentor of mine. She told me to always do your best, no matter who's watching, and to treat others how you want to be treated. So taking that along with me through my career, I suggest that, that you follow your passion, that you get you some mentors. You don't have to know the mentor. It could be somebody that you admire, but, pay attention to what you love about that person and add that to your life. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and get your education, and continue to follow your passion.
Absolutely. Does anyone else want to jump in with that one?
I'll go. Yeah. For me, sort of, I worked at a bunch of different studios, and there was a few people along the way who both sort of said the same thing to me, which was just keep being you. And that kind of really just stuck with me. And I think it's really true. Is this, if you just keep being yourself and just trust what you're doing, I think that kind of just gives you the confidence to sort of continue on down your path. And for me, that really just stuck with me, to just believe in myself and my skill, and not to sort of, belittle yourself, I guess, and sort of say, oh no, I'm terrible at this. It's just like, well, if you are, then just keep practicing and get better. And then you sort of like, you have your confidence in your skill, and you're like, no, I think I'm doing a really good job here, and sort of, continue on from there. But also the other biggest thing is, for me in visual effects, it's such a team orientated industry. And it's all about being humble and knowing how to work in a team environment as well. Because there's no sort of single person. Every single second of the film that you build is made up of maybe like 10 artists over a period of time kind of working on that. And so the other thing for me is really knowing how to work in a team environment as well.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You're good.
I would say all of those things, and definitely the team, being a team player and being a part of the team. And that's actually what, a few times when I have questioned, like, do I still want to do this? The people have always, brought me back. It's the freelance world, so you have to be on your A game to be asked back. And so the team is very important, definitely working with the team. I would say too, one piece of advice I got when I first started, was to not let your personal relationships fade away, because the hours can be so demanding. It's really important to, to keep up those outside relationships, because those really nurture you and feed you when the going gets rough. And the other thing I would say is surround yourself with a good partner. Like, have a partner that understands, and supports you. That's huge. I couldn't be doing this without my husband, both his confidence in me, his pep talks, and just understanding that the hours are long, and it's a partnership with raising our son, and putting in what we need to put in to happy life at home.
Absolutely, that's so important. Yeah.
One advice that was also given to me was, yes, of course, following the passion, having patience also. And also, sometimes when I think of failing, sometimes we think, no, we don't want to fail. But an advice is, it's okay failing sometimes. It's not like the end. And then it's like a path also. You can fail, but then you can also do another thing and try to do it better, and try to do it better each day. So yes, to follow your passion, and to be patient, and to have the confidence also. And to be surrounded of great people also helps a lot with that.
I agree. That's my biggest lesson that I've learned since becoming a supervisor is it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. I think I stayed a supervising assistant for so long. I loved the job, but I think I was just really afraid to fail and make mistakes. And well, it's a freelance world, because so if I make a mistake, I'll never get hired again. And I've just learned in the last few years that you can make mistakes, and that's how you learn, and that's how you grow, and that's how you get better at your job. I would definitely pass that advice along. And
absolutely, that's how we grow from our mistakes, and just dust yourself off and pick yourself back up and go for it again. Even with your goals, you have a goal, set your goal. Once you reach a goal, set a new goal, to take you higher into the direction of where you want to go with your career. That's another one too. And just always work on building your craft. That's what I do. I try. Yeah.
I think owning your mistakes as well, when you do make something wrong, just owning it, say, yeah, you know what, that was not a good decision.
Right.
I think that sort of helps build your confidence as well. You sort of say, yeah, you know what, I did make a mistake on that one, but I'm going to learn from it.
Yeah. How can I make it better? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're all talking about mistakes, but you are all such achievers, especially this year. And I mean, one thing I wanted to talk about, this has been such a sort of long, strange Oscar season, just because of the pandemic, and it's a longer season just in general this time, and so many movies moved, and it was just a different kind of year. But I think the flip side is that it's also been such an amazing year. Once the nominations came out, there were so many more women and people of color. It was historic, the nominations, and so I felt so gratifying. So how do you feel about just I mean, of course your nominations, but also I'm thinking Chloe Zhao and Emerald Fennell and Daniel Kaluuya and Chadwick Boseman. I mean, there's just representation on all fronts, and I think it's been such an amazing year that in that way. How do you feel about it going in pre-ceremony now? How do you feel about the nominations?
I'm very excited. I'm sorry. Was it for me or for
everybody?
Okay,
yeah. But go for it. Yeah, you're on the train with Viola.
Yes, and I am very excited for everyone. I think with us being in quarantine, it brought a lot of awareness to like so many things as far as Black Lives Matter, Me Too, just how things are in the world. And then, when I think about, you sit back and you're watching Netflix and all these different outlets, you're able to see multicultural television and so many things that are across the world, it just opens your eyes, So this is a very exciting year overall, I think, because of COVID and being quarantined, awareness again.
Yeah. It was definitely a year of reckoning, and in a lot of ways, I think just the heightened awareness has been so great.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut anyone off.
No, I was just gonna say I agree, and I love it. I love I love it. I love all the awareness that it's bringing, and like we talked about, hopefully it'll inspire the next generation, of women, of bringing more diversity, because that's like helps bridge the gap. Like people like, oh, there's a career in sound, in makeup, in visual effects, so all cinematography, of act, all of the categories. It's such a great feeling after such a hard year. Mm-hmm. It really is. And just even watching the films, we're just trying to watch them all before the Oscars, and it's like, oh wow, it is so great to watch different kinds of films. It really is. It really is.
What are everyone's favorites? I guess besides your own works, I mean, what other films and performances have you liked this season?
I really haven't had a chance to catch up on all of them, but I did have a chance to watch Hillbilly Elegy, and I truly enjoyed Glenn Close's transformation. So I'll start with that one for me.
That was an incredible transformation.
Incredible. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of the films either. The film I actually worked on and nominated for actually hasn't even been released in Australia, so I haven't seen the actual finished final product myself yet, except for what I was working on in the studio at the time. It's only had a US release at the moment, so
you'd think they get you a screener.
You would, yeah. But it is coming out here in a couple of weeks, I think. So, yeah,
right. Exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle and Coya, any favorites?
The films, well, the ones I watched, I love all of them. So, for example, Rainey it's a film like that I loved, and all the things. I just was in there. It was really special, and of course, Soul was like really. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. So the other films I haven't seen it yet, but I think because of the pandemic also. This year in special there is like a more story-wise the films are more like for stories, some one of them, and there are more like personal, and yes, this awareness of different kind of things happening around the world. So it's great to be in this year of historic women nominations and diversity nominations, and I really hope that it's staying like that, no, for the next years to come, and that's changing also because the
there's definitely a lot of unique films this year, that's for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't really pick a favorite, and I'm still catching up, but I agree. I mean, I think what I've liked about each film was they were just also so different, and it was great to, to be transported back to, Ma Rainey and that time period. And it was great. I'm biased, of course, with Soul, but, just a journey through, somebody's life, and like really like they thought they wanted their life to be one way, but they had a chance to go back and, reflect. Nomad land. I mean, this whole way, a different way of living, which, being in quarantine has, I think, taught a lot of us, like there's another way to live, besides the rat race. Even news of the world, just being transported back into the West, and like being reminded of like, oh gosh, our country has a very dark past. And I do say, yeah, we watched Judas and the Black Messiah, and it, it's like, yeah, these are hard conversations that were happening then, and they're still happening today, but bringing that awareness and that, a representation to the world. and just loving that they were, all those films that I mentioned were nominated.
I think it's been a really special year. Go ahead, Genevieve.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think through COVID as well, it's opened the door to different types of films being nominated. I know in visual effects, normally it's quite dominated by your really big, huge blockbuster films and all their sort of visual effects work. But I think because of COVID, there was a bit of a limitation on what could be filmed and created. So it's kind of opened the door to sort of smaller, lower budget films and the creativity that they came up with on their films. So it's kind of, really opened the door for diversity of the films being nominated. So
I hope it continues. I mean, as a journalist covering entertainment, I mean, there was just such a wealth of intimate, powerful stories this year. And I mean, I really hope it continues, even if things go back to, before times. I don't want this to go back to before times. But anyway, lastly, because we have to wrap up. Oscar ceremony this year is supposed to be in person. I think that's what they're planning. What are your all plans? Is anyone making the trip, or is it? Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I hope to go, and I was saying to a colleague of mine who was also nominated for Mank. I was saying, in some ways, like we're going to be the first to ever do this. Like it's going to be a very unique year, and I'm excited. And it sounds like it'll be very intimate this year. And so knock on wood, everyone stays healthy, and we get to be in person. And
I'm sorry.
Are you going to go? Are you going to be there, Jamika?
I'm going. I'm also attending. I'm going to bring my mom along with me, but it's interesting because I also have to work the day of. So I'm just, still trying to balance that whole picture of me getting ready, getting Viola ready and getting down there. But I'm super excited to join everyone and attend. Yes.
Mm-hmm. For me, I really would love to join, but it was a hard decision. Australia has very strict quarantine rules at the moment around COVID. For me, I really wanted to go, but it was going to require about almost a month quarantine in total to get there. So it was a very hard decision that, I wasn't going to be able to attend just because it was just I'll be locked up in a hotel for 1 month in order to do so. It was just,
It's the same for me. I want to go, but I will also need to do like 10 days in quarantine in the hotel. So, and with a lot of PCR tests here in Mexico, and then not getting sick in the airplane. And it's like, but I'm really excited if I pass all these hard tests. But yes, I hope to be there. Yes.
Great. Well, I will be at home cheering you all. Thank you so much for joining me on this Craft Trailblazers panel. I'm so extremely excited for all of you. Thank you, Jamika Wilson, Coya Elliot, Michelle Couttolenc, and Genevieve Camilleri. I really appreciate your time, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.